Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to assemble a Lego set, and I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote into the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes, and if you feel like just being a lurker and you don't want to say anything at all, well, you don't have to say anything. You can just hang out. That's also a thing you can just do. If you don't want to talk, just hang. That's also okay. It's Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. It's a Monday, and we're working on Lego. We got some of a Lego cellular phone here, a cordless phone, I should say, cordless phone. We got some cordless phone action going here. So we'll work on that, and then when that's over, we'll disassemble it, and then we will put together some phones of the kind of knockoff Nokia and a flip phone. Right there. We'll get those together. Hey, Lord Crash is in. Welcome, welcome. So that'll be fun. I do have a Band-Aid. I apologize, but did get a little cut up. We'll talk about that briefly. Let's go to the overhead camera. Here. Yeah, so I did a lot of yard work this weekend. I used a electric, trimmer that I've never used before for cutting down some shrubs, trimming some shrubs, cutting them back, not cutting them down, cutting them back, and just helping out around the house, doing the stuff that I'm not super comfortable with, but doing my best, and it worked out. You know, it was tiring. But got a lot of that done. That was a big thing yesterday. Oh, you can see here. So we got the little this denotes like where the contacts would be with the charger that we'll build, which is a fun little bit of business there. And then this is I believe this represents the LED. Obviously, it wouldn't be touch, but there'd be a little LED screen with some numbers and such. So that is a representative of that. This is looking good. It's very chonky, which is accurate for the era. Yeah, this is coming together. Now, if I was going to display, I obviously haven't built the three of them yet, right? I've only built one of the three builds. I haven't built the mini phones, and I haven't finished building this phone. But I would say, probably at this point, I'd build the rotary phone. If I was going to display something, if I was going to have something out for people to look at, it would be the rotary phone, because that is just iconic and classic. Although this looks neat. I'd maybe go for this kit if it was a red phone. Yeah, I mean, instead of the blue phone, if it was like a red, yeah, if it was the Batman phone. Yeah, and I guess you could find the instructions here and part it out. And then just order all of the exterior blue parts in red and build it yourself. You know, go to a Bricklink and put it together. You could certainly do that, because then the interior pieces you could all just make with whatever. They don't really matter. Oh, let's get some fucking buttons on this thing. Hell yeah! Get these buttons on here. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to use all of these pink buttons here. Get together all this. Now, this is not a phone that you would text on, because that was not a thing. But you still gotta, you gotta dial in all your numbers. Get all those numbers working. Oh, one extra, that's good. And then we gotta get some gray squares here. I like a look at this thing. I enjoy it. Yeah, so I'm a little tired, and then today I just did mind-numbing work that I was not thrilled to be doing, I'll say, but I needed to get it done, so that was one of my data entry jobs, and that was a lot of work. But it was good work, but it was a lot of work. I saw Mr. C on Twin Peaks: The Return do the old-school texting on a flip phone that reminded me of how awful that used to be. Yes! Okay, you want to dial 77 to get the second number on there. You got to do it fast, or it might think that you mean to say that you want to put in, yeah, people got very good at it. That's why, like the BlackBerry, like, you know, and the Sidewinder, when they started putting keyboards on phones and phone-like devices, people got pretty stoked about that shit. Give me a tiny keyboard. Let me see what's up. People got real into that. Oh, I think we're building an antenna, I believe. We're going to use the components that we would have used for the pen, or pencil, I should say. Because if you were wondering, like, I wonder why the pencil was green. It's probably because they thought it would be a good color for both the antenna and this. That's my guess. We'll see if we use these for the... Oh, we do. There is an antenna piece on one of the small phones. Like the Nokia phone. So yeah, there you go. So it's good. It's good that we know that. Typing out a long message when you have to hit the same buttons to scroll through the letters it offered was torture. Yes, it was. It was often very frustrating. And you did it because you still wanted to text. You know. But that's the whole thing, right? Like, obviously, people like to abbreviate things because that is a just part of human nature. But one of the other reasons why we did that is because it just saved so much fucking time and effort. It was important to do, to get your message out there as fast as possible and as cleanly as possible. Because sometimes also you want to get your response out. You want to let people know what the deal is. All right, then I need gray this piece here, and then we've got an antenna for our cordless phone. And then we put that in there, and there's our antenna. Looking good there. Oh, and now we're going to use this here. We're done with the phone. The phone is done. I like the vibe of it. Now we need to build the receiver that it'll sit on. It's going to go on like that. You got to build the receiver. And woe is you if you did not get that phone on the cradle. If you did not get it on the receiver cradle properly. If you did not, like, line it up right. I like they made the antenna floppy. Yeah, it's got some flop to it, which is feels pretty period accurate. But yeah, if these things here didn't line up with their the proper components and they didn't fit right on there, and you weren't actually like charging it, or also you weren't making a proper connection so that it was like hung up, oof, you're in trouble. People are fucking pissed about what you're doing. All right, so we need 2 of these, and then I did do all the knolling and getting the stuff prepared here. Then we need 4 of these. And we need 2 of these. Like I said, we're building the cradle. All right. There's not much news because of the holiday here in America. Not much news from the gaming world came out. I'm going to say the 2 news pieces that I got here up first, and then we'll just talk until 10 p.m. about wrestling. And if that doesn't do it for you, my apologies, but there was a very good wrestling show last night, and we will talk about it. But first, let's talk about how Harada went to a Waffle House. Harada finally went to a Waffle House. As you may remember, there is a meme out there where in 2024, somebody tweeted Harada about please set a Tekken stage at a Waffle House, and he was like, "What's a Waffle House?" And you know what a Waffle House is. He didn't, and you know what? Honestly, fair and reasonable. They didn't know what the fuck a Waffle House was, and that became a meme, and it became a thing where he was just like, I don't know how he was like somewhat reasonably. Only the power of Saudi money. Yes, indeed. Of course, there is a dark cloud hanging over this fun story, of course. But like, he was kind of just like, hey, that's just like not a feasible thing that I could do. I don't know what to tell you. He was just, and he was often, I will say, Why do some communities send me requests for Waffle House? And then and this is like, please be sure to explain the basis for a request, including the origin story, history, and background. And it's just like, I just don't know why these people think I'm going to do, like, what do you want from me? He visited a Waffle House on the 24th. He said, I finally made to Waffle House. The staff are always friendly, and when I asked if they would sell me a menu, they sold me one for $5. Next time, I'll be back at 3 a.m. for fight time. And there is a photo of him holding a chair in a somewhat threatening manner. And he did get waffles at the Waffle House, which, look, I'm not a Southerner. I may have lived here for almost 6 years. I have lived in South Carolina for almost 6 years, which I would fucking say is the goddamn South. Even saying that, I do not consider myself to be a Southerner. But I will tell you, if I'm going to a Waffle House, I'm not getting the fucking waffles. I'm getting home fries, probably smothered and covered, but at least smothered. Maybe not covered, but at least smothered. And I'm getting an omelet. I'm probably getting a ham and cheese omelet because that's what I like, but I'm getting an omelet no matter what. I don't know if they have good waffles or not. I've never gotten the waffles at a Waffle House because their home fries are just so fucking good that that's what I want. I want the damn home fries. I'm going to get the damn home fries. That's me. That's where I'm at. Your mileage may vary. But he was there, and that's cool, and I'm glad that he had apparently a fun time. And I'm glad he's been to a Waffle House. And he got a menu, which I think is a good... That's a good bit of, like, you know, show your friends back home. Hey, you know what? People keep telling me to go to this place. I went to one. I got the menu. And yes, he's the CEO and director of V8 Studio, which is a branch of SNK, which is, of course, part of the Sony Fund for Development, because they have owned SNK since 2022. And one final bit of business, because this just fits in here, is that apparently during Tekken 8's development, they did want to have Colonel Sanders in there, apparently, and they did not get that. They did not get what they did not. That did not happen, as you may know. We're done with this phone. This phone build is complete. We have done our dark business. And we have built a cordless phone. As I said, it's got some weight to it, some heft to it. It doesn't perfectly sit, and that's fine. Obviously, it's miniature. This isn't right. This isn't to scale, but that's fine. Little like indicator lights. I think that's a nice little bit of business. And yeah, I like there's no cord coming off of it. I missed that part of the story. I think the way people are turning against guest characters, that's probably for the best. Yeah. Some people still love that shit. And other people are like, but wait, instead of this bullshit, what if you put in a character that I like? It's like, yeah, I understand. Instead of this soccer player, what if you put in, like, Sakura? I'm mixing things, but you understand what I'm saying. Why isn't Dan Hibiki in this one? You know, stuff like that. I gotta take a photo of this phone, but we did do it. One more news story, and then we'll dive deep into the pro wrestling conversations here. Let me get my camera out here. I gotta take a photo of this because we're gonna disassemble this thing. So I gotta take a photo of it before it goes. Oops, that's Instagram, not my camera app. I don't need to post this on Instagram. There, I can do that. People can see that I also have a news story where we're talking about Spyro the Dragon. I got a news story up about Spyro the fucking Dragon. there was a statue of Spyro the Dragon that for the 2000s game, Year of the Dragon. It's a good name for a game. Which was at E3, and someone found it. This thing is it traveled, and when it was found, and they're planning to restore it. This, I guess you could call it a piece of history. This, whatever, you certainly could call it that. But it was in a gas station in Oregon, which is strange. That's a strange place for it to land. But yeah. So 26 years ago, it was a big old dragon at the E3. And then Sony had it in a warehouse in Forest Grove, along with a big Crash Bandicoot statue for many years. And then Sony moved out. And Sony did not take Spyro the Dragon with it. Instead, they gifted it to the owner of the building when they moved out of the storage facility. And I say gifted, they may have just left it, and the owner of the facility was like, great, now I have a big dragon. Either way, that's apparently what happened. It was left there. And then at some point in the Arc Arcade in Astoria, Oregon, ended up with the dragon. I assume money changed hands, but I don't know. But they had the dragon for a very long time. And they had it on display in their arcade, which is a cool fucking thing to have in an arcade. Is a big Spyro the Dragon. Even if you are an arcade and that is not an arcade game, it's still fucking cool. And then they shut down in 2017. And that was for a long time the end of the story. People wondered whatever fucking happened to that dragon. Did someone buy it off of them? Was it in someone's private collection who isn't on social media and they're not bragging about having that thing? We didn't know. Was it destroyed? And then someone who goes by the online handle Momoka happened to see it in a video of a abandoned gas station. Like, the fucking people that are like, let's find this abandoned place and take a bunch of video, and we got to put the video up as soon as possible because when more people hear about this place, it's going to get really fucked up, and then the cops are going to come and put up a fence. So we got to do this shit now if we want to do it. You know those things. So Momoka is apparently big fan of Spyro the Dragon. So Momoka says, I actually found out about this statue because my boyfriend showed me a reel and was like, check this out. They said in a message to Kotaku, I was right in the middle of playing Dark Souls 3 at the time, and I was honestly so confused. Nowadays, you can't even tell what's real and what's AI anymore, It was bugging me. So I literally paused my game to dive into the comments, hoping to dig up some clues. Someone mentioned the statue was somewhere in St. Helens. Since I live in Oregon, St. Helens is only about a 45-minute drive for me, so the distance wasn't an issue at all. Momoka says the person who posted the original video refused to share any information about where the statue is located, but they had enough to go on to start searching for it themselves on Google Street View. Originally, they thought it had been abandoned at an old supermarket, but none of the abandoned buildings in St. Helens are supermarkets, so more internet sleuthing was required. Sorry, let me just just sorting some pieces here so that we can build some fucking knockoff phones here. You know what my business is. Okay. After some searching, they stumbled upon a gas station they described as completely boarded up, but the door matched the one in the original video. And then they stayed up until 5:30 in the morning doing this. They found out the building had been sold to a new owner in 2021. So this building had an owner and managed to track down 2 possible phone numbers. As soon as I woke up, I started getting ready for work and tried the first number. Got a recording saying this number was no longer in service. Then I jumped in the car and start driving to work. I decided to take a chance on the second number. And that they were worried about this because they were like, who calls out of the blue at 9 a.m. asking if you own a specific property and a purple dragon? Which is, you know what, honestly, fair. I appreciate this. I don't know Momika, but I think Momika's got the right idea. Also, I don't know Momika's age, but statistically, they are of an age where they don't want to be on the fucking phone. They don't want to call anyone, and they're still doing it because they want to find this dragon. And I appreciate that and respect that. But they definitely don't want to be on the phone. It was the owner. He actually forgot about the property after he bought it in 2021. So, yeah, just buying a bunch of properties. Spiro was in the gas station when he bought the building, and that he left the statue alone because he wasn't sure what it was. Also, why is there a dragon statue in a gas station? I've bought this gas station that I'm not going to be using, apparently, for cheap enough that I'm not thinking about it. But it does, to me, that does check out. That you're like, well, I didn't even remember I owned this property, but I do remember that there was a big purple dragon there. You're right. So Momika was just like, here's some stuff about this statue and the character. And the owner was like, okay, all right. Yeah, you can have the statue. Because he's like, so this is the part that I love. It's not because like, oh, I knew what was going on, or like, oh, well, whatever. It's just that like, oh, the owner of this dragon was impressed that somebody had tracked it down after all these years, and like not to put too fine a point on it, just liked Momika's gumption. Like that's basically it. Just being like, oh wow, you're like, you found all the clues, and I just think that's neat. They couldn't meet to make these changes until Monday the 18th. And it's very big. It's apparently 12 feet long. And Momika was like, what am I going to do now? I have no idea. I had no idea the dragon was that big. Oh God, what am I doing? Which is great. I have a phobia of seeing a giant figures in the dark. So seeing him inside an abandoned building was incredibly creepy. And I was having a really hard time, which is fucking relatable. I do not share that phobia, but I understand that, like, seeing a giant dragon in an abandoned gas station, even though you know that's my friend Spyro the Dragon, it still probably freaks you out. Momika hugged the dragon, and let's see. It's apparently incredibly good shape. The paint is faded. We're trying to find the right shade of purple to give it a fresh coat. And apparently the plan is eventually to display it at a retro gaming convention in Portland and have them take ownership of Spyro, which is probably for the best. They have to replace the wings. And because they're probably just too heavy to transport. And it's just kind of fun. Just a neat story. And also, that guy, the guy that bought that gas station, now remembers he owns a gas station. So that's good. I don't know what you do, but like, good on you. That was just fun. I'm happy to know that. I hope you're also happy to know that there's Spyro the Dragon is now the E3 giant Spyro the Dragon has a home, and that home is Momika in Oregon. I hope the restoration goes well. I'm sure we'll see some more details on the internet. Okay. Double or Nothing happened last night. There was a gas station near me that shut down, and it's a lot to buy sheds for your backyard. Okay, that's a lot. Okay. Yeah, sure. That sounds right. Oh, it happened, folks. We dropped down to 29 subscribers. I got to put the numbers back up. We're 29 subscribers. We'll probably bounce back up to 30 when somebody renews their subscription, but for now, we're under 30, so I got to put the number up. Got to tap the sign. Indeed, Lord Crashington. I was just about to say something to that effect. All right, we got to talk about Double or Nothing. That's AEW's pay-per-view that happened yesterday, which is their best pay-per-view of the year, which they haven't had that many in the year, but it was the best show they've had this year. I mean, like, it's not hard to be better than the show that had fucking Ronda Rousey on it as a surprise guest appearance by Ronda. So it's like, it's not hard to beat that out. But yeah, it was fucking great. Mick Foley is All Elite. Officially, Mick Foley is an employee of the All Elite Wrestling in a host capacity. How often will they use Mick Foley? Who can say? I thought it was fun. He had a bit of business. It made sense for him to have a bit of business with Darby Allin, because Darby is a risk taker, to put it mildly. He did have a fanny pack on that he did wear into the ring, and my joke for that was that he doesn't trust the locker room yet, so he wasn't going to leave his fanny pack backstage, which is, just a little fun, just a little fun. I'm not trying to cause a scene, stir up anything. Zeta Steel and Viva Van were unsuccessful in their attempt to last 5 minutes against the Divine Dominion. That's Megan Bayne and Lena Cross. And after the match, there was shenanigans, and then Anna Jay and Ty Mello came out. So Ty J is probably their next challenger, and maybe they'll have a match that goes like 7 minutes or something. I don't expect them to win, but they are technically they're not the original AEW women's tag team, because that's actually probably Brandy Rhodes and Aja Kong are probably the original AEW women's tag team. But they're the real, two actual wrestlers who wrestled. So it makes sense for them to start a program. Hope it goes well for them. Let's see. The Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, and Wheeler Yuta defeated the Ops, Anthony Bowens, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata. Bowens is still over with a live crowd. He is not, I don't remember if he's actually a New Yorker. So some of the time wrestlers got pops and you're like, this makes some sense. They're from the area. I know Anthony did do some stuff in New York at some venues in New York, but I don't think he's a New Yorker. I want to say he's a California boy. No, he's from Nutley, New Jersey. Okay, so he's a New Jersey boy. All right, that makes sense. I knew he worked on the East Coast, but I didn't know if he was from the East Coast. I should remember he's from Nutley, which I've been to before. There's nothing about it that's special, other than now, Anthony Bowens. Anthony's still very over. Hook still needs... Is Hook the most egregious nepotism hire in wrestling today? There's a good argument that he is. That he is, at least, I'll say this, in AEW, like, you can make an argument certainly for the Guns, that Austin and Colton, like, Colton had barely wrestled, Colton had wrestled some, Austin had wrestled basically no matches before he got signed to AEW. But they've certainly shown up, grown up, and shown out over the years. Hook just doesn't fucking have it. and he would not have this job if he was not the son of Taz. But he just doesn't got it going on like that. Boom and Doom, that's Big Boom AJ, the Costco Man, and QT Marshall, teamed with Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong of the conglomeration, featuring Big Justice, Harley Cameron, and the Rizzler, defeated Shane Taylor Promotions, which is Shane Taylor, Anthony Ogogo, Captain Sean Dean, Charlie Bravo, and Lee Moriarty. I'm sorry, that's Carly Bravo. It's not Charlie, it's Carly Bravo. I'm thinking of Charlie Tuna. Christian XO was, I don't even know who that is because I don't watch Ring of Honor. The last I knew, Trisha Dora was the woman that was part of the infantry. And therefore Shane Taylor Promotions. And I'm not caught up to date. I don't know who Christian XO is. I don't know why she's with them. I was like, okay, sure. It was fine. QT definitely hurt himself. He had a botch and definitely hurt himself, which is a shame. There was a weird segment where it was like, which hot woman does the Rizzler prefer? And that is objectifying and creepy in ways that I do not fucking appreciate. Thank you very much. I know it's for comedy. I know it's jokes. But it's just like, hey, this lady is standing there and the Rizzler's looking at her. And then this other lady shows up and she's just like, no, pay more attention to me. And I'm like, that's a child. Why are we doing this, AEW? What are we doing here? What are we fucking doing here? Wasn't a fan of that part. Your new AEW World Tag Team Champions are Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. Cage and Cope. They defeated FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. Stokely went through a flaming table, which is a throwback to the flaming table spot between Edge and Mick Foley, which was a nice bit of business. Beth Phoenix returned to enact some revenge, and Stokely went up to try to square up to her, which was funny. Oh, I forgot to say, it looked like Shane Taylor Promotions were going to attack people at the end of the pre-show. But don't worry, because Eddie Kingston, wearing a backpack, showed up with a large stick. And also Mance Warner and Ortiz, because they were a trio in AEW, or in Ring of Honor. That's right, Eddie Kingston is on Ring of Honor now, consistently. And I'm mad about that. He should be on AEW proper. It's annoying. I'm happy for Mance, though. Very happy for Mance Warner to get that gig. I hope it's good for them. The feuding with Shane Taylor Promotions, I hope that's good. So yeah, that happened. Cage and Cope are old men. They are in their 50s. I do not want them to have belts. But my assumption is that they will lose those belts at All In. That's my hope anyway. This should not be a long feud. They just have such a good tag division. But the tag belts not being on FTR or the Young Bucks makes me happy. I hope that FTR goes on a long break. I would like them to be on a very long break. I do not want to see them. I would like them to go away for a while. They probably won't. Konosuke Takeshita is your new AEW International Champion, having defeated Okada. That match fucking whipped ass. That was a fucking Okada-style New Japan match, and it was very fucking good. Everybody showed the fuck up for that. And then Takeshita is out of the Don Callis family. It's very clear that they were unhappy that he kept dropping Okada on his head and beat Okada. And so they all came out to be mad at him. Well, some of the members came out to be mad at him. But don't worry. Kyle Fletcher has returned from injury. Kyle Fletcher is going to set things right. Oh no, Kyle Fletcher turned on Takeshita. And so I guess he'll also feud for the international title. Love is dead. Yeah, it's sad. But now Takeshita can be fully babyface, and that's good because it has been a long time coming, and they need to fucking do that shit, and so they did that shit. Athena defeated Mina Shirakawa in a Owen Hart Cup quarterfinal, which was good. Oops, I dropped a piece. Let me get that piece. That match fucking whipped ass. I was very, very happy to see it. Love that Mina Shirakawa, but Athena is the right winner of that match, and it was fun. Rough to follow Takeshita Okada, but that is par for the course for AEW. Jon Moxley retained the AEW Continental Championship against Kyle O'Reilly. Now, you may remember that they waived the 20-minute time limit rule for this match because Kyle went the distance. He survived the 20 minutes, but he didn't win the belt in their last matchup. So they were like, okay, well, this time we'll take that away. And so the match went 18 minutes and 45 seconds. It didn't even go over the 20 minutes. So it didn't need to have that stipulation, but you got the sense that, okay, well, now nobody's going to be rushed. It's not going to end with no winner. We're going to get to a finish. I thought the match was solid. I think Kyle Fletcher rules. Kyle Fletcher rules, but also Kyle O'Reilly rules. Now, did I want Kyle O'Reilly to have two belts, a singles belt and a trios belt? Not really. Did I savor the idea that he would have two different backpacks, one for each belt? Yes, I think that is very funny. And I think Kyle would have done that because they wear backpacks, JanSport backpacks at the ring with their belts because Orange Cassidy does not want to be carrying around a belt. Too heavy. In his hands, what do you want from him? Get him a belt. All right, I need one of these here. I thought that match was good. There was a handshake at the end. I like a good handshake. I still don't know why. Like, is Jon Moxley a babyface? Are the Death Riders heels? Are they babyfaces? Like, I don't care. The Shades of Grey doesn't work because I feel like there's no continuity in the Death Riders as a story. That's my opinion. Will Ospreay defeated Samoa Joe in a match that was pretty fucking great. I wanted it to get into one more gear, but I understand why it didn't get into a higher gear. But I thought that was a fantastic match. And the reason for this match is a tournament. They're in a tournament, right? But the psychology behind this match is one that I can really get behind. Samoa Joe was mad because Will Ospreay needed help. And so he turned to a group to get that help, to get support. And he turned to the Death Riders. He didn't turn to the Ops. Was there ever an offer of join the Ops? No. Did they ask him to join them? No. But he should have known that he could have joined Samoa Joe and Shibata and Hook and also Bowens that the door was always open to him, and he didn't. So Samoa Joe was mad because Will Ospreay doesn't want to hang out with the homies. And that is relatable and understandable. That is stupid in a way that I appreciate. It's like, yeah, whatever. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. Guy didn't want to hang out with us. He picked another crew instead of our crew. We're mad about that. Good bit. Match was fun. Swerve Strickland defeated Bandito in the other men's Owen Hart tournament quarterfinal. They are, to me anyway, setting up a Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland finals. I believe Mark Davis will beat Jack Perry in the tournament, and then Will get his revenge because Mark Davis has a win over Will Ospreay. kind of push the whole like, oh, his neck's all messed up. I was already a higher gear than I feel we usually get from Joe matches these days. Yes. Well, because Joe is fighting tag matches most of the time these days, which is fucking fine. That's fine. That's okay. But yeah, I think we're going to get a finals. The Owen is going to be Swerve versus Will Ospreay, with Will Ospreay winning. That is my big thought on that. That's what we're going to get. It just feels like that's what we're leading to. That match was solid. I thought that match was pretty damn good. Not gonna lie. Bandito keeps doing variations of his finisher that are better than the regular version of his finisher, and I'm like, you gotta just fucking keep doing that. Don't have the person like off the ropes. Do the deadlift version. Just make that the version of your suplex, your cool suplex. Also, what if you won some things, Bandito? Have you asked about winning things? Tekla retained her Women's World Championship, defeating Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, and Chris Statlander by pinfall. I've always believed that Tekla was going to retain. There was an outside shot that maybe Shida would win it, just to shake things up. I think we're going to get a Chris Statlander Hikaru Shida feud that does not need a belt and will be cool. And perhaps it will be around the TBS championship, because with Willow injured, that no one has the TBS championship right now. So they could, if they wanted to, make their feud involve trying to get that. Will they do that? I don't fucking know. But they might. I think, yeah, man. I think probably Tekla's holding it till All In, which is not. I don't. She's the third most interesting person in a stable of 3 people. I'd rather see Julia Hart with the belt. I'd rather see Sky Blue with the belt. Give Sky Blue the TBS championship. It's time. Give Sky Blue that belt. I think it's long overdue for her to have some kind of fucking championship, and that would be cool. We had a Stadium Stampede match where Jericho, the Hurt Syndicate, the Elite, all 4 members of the Elite, with MVP, defeated the Demand. 2 members of Don Callis family and 2 members of the Dogs. This was a good, fun, stupid match. We had the best nepotism hire in AEW, Luther, aka Dr. Luther. Luther was involved. Luther gave Jericho a giant tennis racket, which is just good. That's just fun to say. That's a true thing. I like that a lot. There was a video presentation of the members of the Good Guy Squad that was just Snatch. That was just the opening title sequence of Snatch, and that's fun. Good bits of business throughout. So, Tommy Invincible, somewhat indie legend, a weird New York guy, was involved. Luchasaurus wore a wig. Janai Kai, who is a awesome indie wrestler and a kickboxer turned wrestler. She's just fucking cool. She was in the food fight that happened. Satnam Singh got declared a food fight, and that was a good bit of business. Good use of Satnam. I thought for sure Mick Foley would be involved in the food fight. He was not, but I thought for sure he was going to do something with that. Good stuff. There was they put a man in a shopping cart, pushed the shopping cart down the ramp into another man, super kicking that guy out of the shopping cart. It was good. There was a tennis ball launching machine that they did not know how to operate properly. And so it was shooting tennis balls just kind of it went into business for itself, kind of willy-nilly. That's good. A man was super kicked into an escalator, and then the escalator sent him up, and he kept trying to get up and get off the escalator. It didn't work. And then he got kicked down the escalator. Very good. A man stumbled outside to a golf cart and looked at the golf cart and read a note. And then one of those yellow buses that are short, the small buses, the half-size buses, plowed into that golf cart, seemingly murdering the man. He did not die. He apparently got away, and that was good because he didn't die. And that happened live. They didn't pre-tape that bit. They did that live. There were people in seats that could turn around and see that happen, which is cool. A lot of dumb stuff in that. A lot of people going through tables. One thing I did want to point out in this one. Earlier in the night, I said, or earlier tonight when I was talking about match from earlier, that I don't like when old dudes, and I should say specifically old dudes from WWE, show up in AEW and get belts. I don't like it because they're kind of old. They're not working the levels they used to. It's neat they're there, but they don't need to be having singles championships. They don't need to go on title reigns or tag team gold or trios gold. I don't need that. That's my general statement. A man in his mid-50s shouldn't have a belt. That being said, there is one man in this match who is 50 years old, who I will say, they got to fucking belt up this guy. I want a singles mid-card run for Shelton Benjamin. Shelton X Benjamin should have a mid-card belt. Fuck it. Have him and the Young Bucks have the trios belts. Make him the third Buck. Shelton Benjamin had such a fucking blast doing goofs and bits with the Bucks and doing all their moves with them. And it just felt fucking right. It felt good and right and fun. That whipped ass. Shelton Benjamin is 50 and like fucking in crazy shape and can still really go. And he should have at least a mid-card belt in AEW. They've got 4 of them. AEW has 4 mid-card belts. TNT, National, International, and Continental. They got 4 mid-card belts. Give one of them to my guy, Shelton Benjamin. Anyway, that match was really fun. Jericho's lion salt at the end was not as bad as I was expecting because he's not really great at doing them anymore. Do they need any more of them? No, Lord Crashington. 4 is too many. Look, Lord Crashington, I gotta fucking tell you this. So they've had 3 for a really long time. They had the TNT. They had the International, which started off as the All Atlantic. Lashbrook, Takeshita won it off Okada last night. So for a long time they had the All Atlantic champion. The TNT Championship was the first one. Then they introduced the All Atlantic Championship, which they eventually made the International Championship. So they renamed it. And then they did the Continental. And the idea with the Continental was that the Continental gave you a belt. So that was a belt. You became a champion. You got a Continental Championship. Okay, sure. And then Okada won the Continental Championship. But he was already the International Champion. So he became the International Continental Champion. The Unified Championship. They didn't call it the Intercontinental because they can't. Or they can, but they didn't want to. I don't know if Intercontinental is copyrighted by WWE. It might be. I don't know. But either way, they unified the belts. Put those 2 bad boys together. And while they unified it as the unified title, they were like, okay, we're introducing a new belt called the National Championship. And then Okada lost the Continental Championship, but he didn't lose the International Championship, and he remained the International Champion, and the United belts were ununited, which is stupid. It's not what that's not what United is. It's one of the dumbest fucking things. So now they have 4 mid-card belts. We saw the TNT champion at the very end of the show. Before he arrived, MJF defeated Darby Allin to regain the AEW World Championship from Darby Allin and preventing the need for MJF to have his head shaved. That's right. They teased a thing that could happen, and then that thing didn't happen, which is not unusual. I saw some people say, well, that breaks a cardinal rule of wrestling. When you introduce a cool stipulation, you have to follow through on that. And I'm like, that's not true. That's not... Part of wrestling is delayed gratification, which obviously sucks. Don't get me wrong. But that's a big part of wrestling, is that like, oh yeah, you want this? Oh, you want this? You're not getting it. You're not getting it. Someday, he will get his head shaved. But it wasn't tonight or last night. I think this is for the best. I think Darby was going to have diminishing returns as his body started to actually pay the price for his fucking wrestling, his nonsense. He was going to become a problem. And also they were probably going to let him talk more because he talked a little bit on Wednesday, and that's a mistake. He still has, in my opinion, the best babyface run in AEW World Title history because he had a lot of matches and they were fun and well liked, and he didn't talk much at all. And he didn't fight anybody that you like. He fought people that you'd be like, oh, it'd be neat if that person won, but the crowd still wanted Darby to win every time. And that's hard to do against other baby faces or other popular acts. So it's like, yeah, all right. Now, if he had wrestled Okada, because he didn't end up wrestling Okada, that crowd might have actually wanted Okada to win that. So that maybe it was for the best that Okada had to cancel his appearance and go handle personal matters and not do that. I thought this match was the match of the night, which is crazy for me to say because I don't like Darby Allin's matches. I don't enjoy his train wreck approach to his own fucking body. I like MJF matches. I think MJF matches are great. I think he books great matches. I thought this one was really fun. The spot off the scaffolding onto the table was stupid, but good. There's a bunch of moments there where I'm like, all right, this is good, but stupid. What are we doing here? But yeah, I thought it's the right decision. And then they were stretchering out Darby, and MJF was trying to stop them so he could seemingly attack Darby Allin, which is that's a very proper thing for him to do. It's reasonable for that asshole. But he was stopped. No, you're not going to do that. Kevin Knight, the TNT champion, came out and said, no, no, no. Get out of here, Max. And then Kevin Knight did his finisher onto Darby Allin, which is the UFO drop, which is basically like a frog splash, but he's like facing the wrong way when he does it. It's unbelievably impressive. He moves his body, and it's fucking cool as hell. And Darby was still in a stretcher, and then Darby didn't fall over from that, so then he just pushed him over. And it was cool, and nobody knows why Kevin Knight did that. I thought he would attack Speedball, but instead, I guess we're going to have that is going to involve Darby. And maybe Speedball will also turn heel. I don't know. I don't need to see a heel Speedball Mike Bailey. I don't know if I need to see a heel Kevin Knight, but whatever. They're making moves. We got one of these two phones is done. I was like, maybe I won't finish this tonight. I'm definitely finishing this whole build tonight. because I just have to build the other phone, which is more complicated than the Nokia knockoff, but not much more. And then we got to clean up, and then we can talk about the next thing I'm building, which is a model kit, which is a cool looking model kit. With only a couple polycaps, not a lot of polycaps, but a few. Still have a few. And a lot of fucking stickers. Oh boy, back to that. This whole thing has been him turning in Speedball, so this move is more confusing than interesting. Yeah, I think they just wanted something shocking to end the show. Because yeah, you want Speedball to go, I want your title, and them having a nice friends match, and then Kevin cheating to win. Like, that's what you want. That's the step that we didn't get. Instead, he's just like, oh no, I don't care about turning heel on Speedball. I want to turn heel on Darby Allin for some reason. Okay. Because it's like, I beat you before, Darby. Not for the belt, but I did beat you. And now I can't beat you for the belt, even though I lost trying to beat you for the belt. Sure, whatever. They made their move. I don't know. I didn't think it was a good move to make. We'll see, though. We'll see what they can do with it. Show was fantastic. I gotta say, I went into the night 100% convinced MJF was winning, but the stuff with Foley and MJF getting cheap heat in his home state made me have doubts. Yeah, I don't know. And like I said, I stand by the idea that, like, just because they gave a stipulation and they didn't follow through on that stipulation isn't the, like, cardinal sin or breaking a traditional wrestling rule. Now, if MJF had lost and then weaseled his way out of getting his head shaved, then yeah, that's bullshit. They didn't do that. He just won the match. They didn't weasel out of him not shaving his head. Like, he didn't, like, shave a wig or shave off, like, a little bit, like, trim it and then run away and never finishing it off. Like, none of that shit. No, they just had him win the belt. He cares. He wants the belt, and he also wants his hair to remain. And he got the two things that he really wanted. And now he'll never put that. No, now he'll face Will Ospreay in Wembley for All In. It'll be their second time facing each other at Wembley. I think he's going to fight Mystico at Forbidden Door, because Forbidden Door is CMLL and New Japan, and he has history with Mystico, and I think he's going to beat Mystico at Forbidden Door. I think that'll be the story they tell. Or, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how he's going to pull that off, but I think it's Mystico. I don't think it'll be anybody from New Japan. I don't think it will be. I don't know who it would be. And then I think Will is probably going to face... but he should win, so he... Like, I don't know. Maybe Aussie Open will have a match. He'll reform Aussie Open to take on Don Callis' family or something. Or the Dogs. Ugh, the Dogs. Anyway, that pay-per-view was pretty fucking sweet, is what I'll say to you about that. It was long, but it didn't feel long. Some AEW pay-per-views feel torturous. This one moved, for me anyway, and that was good. But those are my thoughts on the AEW pay-per-view. Now is the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you, the viewer, about ways you can support the channel and what I do here. I got to put these things back up because we're trying to get to 30 subscribers. If you are currently a subscriber to the Baer Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it with your Twitch, get a Twitch token, use that for anybody. If you want to use it for me, that would be great. All the things I'm going to talk to you about here are optional, of course. I'm not like begging or pleading or demanding. But if you can, if you think you like what you see here and you want to support what I do, I'm going to give you some ways to do that. Let's see. yeah, that's the easiest way, is right here, if you want to do that. Also, I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Over my Patreon, there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon if you would like. I'd love to have you over there on the old Patreon. Consider it. Consider it. There are other ways to support what I do here, like going to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. You can, of course, subscribe for free, and please do. You can also become a member, and for just $2 a month, you can become a member over there, and you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So tomorrow, you will get a video that other people aren't going to get until Wednesday. So that's pretty neat. The last of my of Shonen Month for Kuma Baer. It's a good one that I recommend. So watch that video. Let's see. Those are monthly ways to support me. If you just want to throw $1 or $2 in the old tip jar, you can do that. Everything I make through direct donations, like my Ko-Fi and my PayPal, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and from that fund I pull money out to buy model kits and equipment. This Lego set that I'm currently working on right now came from your generosity, because I had the money to buy a Lego set, because I was like, I want to have some Lego in the backlog. It was all model kits, so I had to get some Lego. So your generosity made that possible, so I appreciate you very much for that. What other things can I say here? I do have a backlog of stuff. My $10 patrons voted on what I'm starting next, which is a model kit that I'll be beginning soon. And, you know, that's all well and good. But if you have an idea of something you'd love to see me put together, well, you can make that happen by buying it off my Amazon wish list. If you go to my Amazon wish list, you can see model kits and Lego sets. Anything purchased there comes to me in the mail, of course, and jumps the queue and becomes the next thing I work on. So if you're like, Pat, what if you built Starscream from Transformers 1? I would say, okay, I can build that, and then I would build that. Or if you were like, Pat, I see that there is a... that somebody made a xenomorph, but it's not Lego, it's fake Lego. Would you build that? But like, yeah, if you buy that for me, I will build that thing. But yeah, I got model kits, Lego sets, all kinds of different things, and thanks. See if there's something there on the wish list that appeals to you, and you can pick that up, and I'll build it. And jumps the queue, becomes the next thing I work on. I have a wish list on Throne, because it is nice to have alternatives to Amazon. See if there's something there. I have to update that. I've been lazy about doing that. And then, of course, the most complicated way to financially support me is to go to USA Gundam Store. USA Gundam Store, you can buy a gift card. They will send you an email with a gift card code. Then you can send me a whisper on Twitch or a private message on Blue Sky with that gift card code. And I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. That's my promise. USA Gundam Store has recently started partnering with Amazon to make deliveries, which is, it makes it faster, but it's not great, I'll say. But it has made it faster, and it probably keeps their costs down. You know, I don't love it. I don't love it. But that is the situation. If you want to support me financially, but you don't want to spend any money, you could join my Discord. Hang out in the Discord. It's a cool place. We'd love to have you hang out in that old Discord. Today, I put up a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. It is my recap of the results of the 2026 Crunchyroll Anime Awards. That's right, it happened over the weekend. I didn't watch it live because it's in Japan at like 5 in the morning. And seems like they're just kind of trying to make that a long event. It just seems like they're dragging their feet. But I did see the results, and I think their choice for Anime of the Year that the people voted on was the right choice, because it's the one I voted for. But I talked about what should have been nominated in some categories. I talk about what should have won against some other things, how I understand why some things won, and then we found out about some shows that have dubs that I didn't know had dubs right now. And that's fun. That's fun to find out. That's my favorite thing every year, is to go and look at what got nominated and what won for, like, Castilian Spanish dub. what won for Hindi. Like, that stuff makes me I'm interested. I'm always excited about that. Like, oh, these are the anime. It's like, oh, cool. Detective Conan movie got dubbed into this language, or oh, all right, yeah, people really like this one. This country only had 2 shows nominated, or this language, I say, only had 2 shows nominated. Like, okay. Spy Family, an international hit. That stuff just makes me happy to see. All right. I have to get back into this. Sorry. One more thing. Kuma Baer. It's my video about Hunter x Hunter. If you didn't see it, please watch it. My numbers on shorts are low right now. I would love those to get boosted. You could help boost it by watching it if you want to watch that video. We'll see. We'll see if more people watch those. I don't know. Okay, it's Manga Monday, everybody. So I'm going to continue to work on this Lego set. And I'm going to talk to you about a couple of manga that I like. And then I'll talk to you an episode of an anime that I'm watching. Because we finally got to the point where I'm caught up on stuff. I don't have to play catch up, so we can talk about some manga. So I have 2 shows. 2 books, both with very fucking long names. Exceptionally long names. So we'll talk about those 2. And then we'll go back to the overhead camera. I'm going to drink even more water because my voice is starting to be a little dry here. And we'll do all of that right now. All right. So we'll continue to work on, we're going to work on our knockoff flip phone here. We'll continue to work on that. And as we do that, I'm going to talk to you about some manga that I have been reading, both with very long titles. So the first one we'll talk about is Our Country Takes in Unwanted Villainesses. Banishing all these excellent noble girls is an act of foolishness which will ruin their countries, you know. And we'll also talk about I became the dark side of the hero's party of my own volition and was cast out for being unnecessary. But we'll see about that. These are both unbelievably long titles. Only one of them is an isekai. It's the first one. Basically, a girl is reincarnated in an otome game, RPG. She is the princess of a small country that is barely mentioned in the text. Barely important. The Struts Kingdom. Brunhild is the future queen of the country. Because they're basically like she's the only royal offspring, so she's going to become the next queen of the country. And excuse me, she's surrounded by other countries. And again, our princess, our future queen, is tasked with the survival of the kingdom, and she's going to accomplish that by using her knowledge of the game world. And the important thing for her is, I'm going to recruit all of the talented people who get cast aside, because in this world that happens to more than just like one girl. They banish people, and she's going to use them and find those high quality people. Now, the very first person she recruits is like basically the main, not the main character, but she is like the main force of she is banished and all that, and she brings misfortune eventually. And she is also a character who was isekai. So now we have 2 characters that were isekai, and they form an alliance. There's a elf that is supposed to be like taken in by the Demon King, and even eventually maybe the Demon King will actually become an ally as well. We're not sure. She is not an overpowered main character. She does have she has an eye for talent, and she surrounds herself with talented people because she has knowledge of the world that she shouldn't have. but she is not an overpowered main character. She is using her wits. And it's fun. It's a fun story. It's a good fucking premise of just like, because even if she was an isekai, the idea that these stories, these banished stories about like, or kicked out of the hero's party kind of stories where you're like, this person like turns out to be great. Like when people get banished from a country, it's rare in those stories that other countries don't go, well, fuck, all right, come here. There's usually happenstance why that doesn't happen, but like it makes sense that someone would be like, well, let's recruit these talented people. Like, what are we doing here? So she does that, and I think it is clever. It's clever, and I would dare say it's also enjoyable. Yeah, so that's basically what I have to say about Our Country Takes in Unwanted Villainesses, banishing all of these excellent noble girls in act of foolishness, which will ruin their countries, you know. It's a fun premise. It's a good thing. I like her. She's like strong because she needs to be, and the supporting cast I think is strong as well. And I look forward to seeing more about what they've got going on and what they're going to be dealing with. Is good. Now this other one, I don't know if this is good, but it's interesting, so I want to talk about it, but I don't know if I recommend. I became the dark side of the hero's party of my own volition and was cast out for being unnecessary, but we'll see about that. So, the very obviously named character Hidden was the scout of the hero's party. He was asked to join the hero's party, and he and the healer, and they're both from a small town, village, and they were asked, and he was like, all right, I don't really want to do this, but I'll do it. And nobody asked him to do this part, but he took on the roles that nobody would want to do. Because, like, there are assassins sent out after them. And so he takes out the assassins that are sent out. Because they're, of course, not only they're demons, but there are people that want wars to happen, that want conflict to happen. They don't have a lot of money. And so he negotiates better deals because people assume that because the hero's party is backed by the kingdom, they must just have all of the money in the world. So he makes negotiations. He handles the business. There are spies out there. There are assassins. There's rebels. And so our guy is getting his hands dirty because to him, it's not dirt. It's what needs to get done. And so he took on all the dirt and the dirty work. And the hero's party is like, hey, we need you to cut this shit out. And he's like, you don't understand what I'm doing is necessary. And they're like, no, you're a fucking psychopath. What are you doing? Like, they are naive. And they're like, look, you've got to change your ways. It's like, all right, well, I'm out. I'm done. Good luck. And he like kind of gives them a bit of information. So it's interesting because this is a banishment, but these are not cruel people. These are naive people, but they're not cruel. And they don't understand what's going on. And when they do come around to understanding what's going on, they're like, ah, fuck. We really fucked this up. I should also say, this shit gets dark. Things happen to some of these characters that are not pleasant or nice as they start to understand what's going on. There is some traumatic stuff. Trigger warnings for some of this particular story. This series moves fast. I will say in the 10 chapters, I think maybe 11 chapters I have read, comeuppance comes pretty quickly. And also, our guy, it's not like he becomes the new hero. Because you'd expect that, right? Like a lot of these stories, oh, I'll show them. I was hiding my true powers and my true potential, or they didn't understand and they didn't make use of it. turns out I don't need them. No, he doesn't go on his own. He goes to the Dark Guild, the Assassin's Guild, and gets a job there with the woman that fell in love with him, and they start a relationship. And they are, in a way, support each other, and they have a healthy relationship while everything else crumbles. And then the story is moving in interesting places that I respect and appreciate. But it is going some places that I think were unexpected, and I don't want to go too many details of that. But a thing happens that I was unprepared for. It just doesn't happen in these kinds of stories. So again, I don't know if this is good. I don't know if I became the dark side of the heroes party with my own volition, and was cast out for being unnecessary, but we'll see about that. I can't tell you that this manga is good, but it's interesting. It has an interesting approach. Oh, we're down to 28. Okay, we're down to 28 subscribers. It's okay. We're on that 30 creep, though. We're on the 30 grind. We continue to grind to 30. So again, I don't know if this is a good story or not. I can't really tell you. But again, I find it to be interesting. I think that they are on an interesting track with this one, and I'm still reading it. Again, I don't know if I'm going to keep reading it, but it's trying to do something different. It is not grimdark for grimdark's sake. It is just a darker story than you would say. So yeah, that's the two manga. They're both banishments. Only one of them is an isekai. Even though it has such a long thing. We are working on the flip phone parts right now, where this thing is this phone here is gonna flip open and closed. How that works, I don't know yet. We'll find out. Oops. So yeah, let's build that. What else can I say? Oh, now it's time where I'll talk about the anime that I've been watching. I watched another episode of Kusunoki's Garden of Gods. This is the story of the dude who took over his grandfather's shrine that his grandfather maintained, and a bunch of gods come in and hang out to absorb his powers. Usually, it's weakened gods that then have a good time and heal up and decide to stick around with our guy, our cool dude, Minato. But in this case, there's a not so nice god, or at least a god who's in conflict. So Yamagami is the main god of this mountain area, is trying to protect Minato and teach Minato, and also regain powers from their past. Makes a waterfall in the garden, redesigns the garden a bit so that it has a waterfall. And some koi show up in that waterfall. And of course, this isn't a regular koi. These are koi that are servants of a god of a neighboring mountain. And we find out that mountain god has issues with Yamagami. They're not in good terms. So that's like, uh-oh, that's rough. Also, Yamagami has been using some of his powers lately in order to help Minato. There was some issues there, and they're trying to infuse more power back into Yamagami so he's back to his original size, because a dragon shows up with some sweets for Minato, and that does not, the sweets are not strong enough to return Yamagami to his original size. And then because Yamagami is weak right now, that god from the god that he doesn't like shows up, which is, obviously fucking rude. This is not, that they were not invited. This is an uninvited guest. Oh, this is neat. Okay, so this is how the flip phone is coming in, and then we'll build the screen part, and we can flip that open and closed. That's cool. All right, we built that. Now we're gonna build another thing on here. I don't know what. This is a nine-tailed fox named Tenko. and really wants Minato to visit. Meanwhile, Haruma, who is the exorcist that we've met, who has a lot of the B plots going on in this show, Haruma warns people that, hey, there's this scam artist exorcist named Ansho. Ansho is out and about, and we got to keep track. We got to keep our eyes peeled because this exorcist is a scammer and has friends, and that's no good. More on Ansho later, I should say. Minato takes some dead branches from the world tree that's hanging out there, basically, and carves some charm keychains for his parents, and gives one of these keychains to Yamagami. And then a squirrel shows up, which is like, oh, cool, what is this? It seems to be just a squirrel, some kind of maybe slightly magical squirrel. A magical squirrel shows up and is like, hey, my baby is covered in miasma. Could I borrow that? Could I borrow this keychain? And so that happens. Tenko, the god, the fox god, nine-tailed fox god, enters the garden and makes a demand of Minato. And you're like, shit, what is this dragon, or this fox, I should say, what is this fox going to demand? And the god demands sushi. Just wants an offering of sushi. Now, Minato might want to stop by and help out another god, sure, but not if this god is going to show up unannounced and come into the garden. So Yamagami gets fucking pissed off about that, and they start fighting. Obviously, Yamagami is not in fighting shape right now, and Minato is almost gets hurt. Like we almost have we have a conflict here, but we almost have some like serious damage done to our guy. But luckily, the carved keychain saves the day, and that keychain, protects our boy, and everything's okay. Tenko blames Yamagami's reliance on humans for why Yamagami is weak right now, which is like, hey, you're the one doing a bunch of bullshit. And so the conflict continues into the next episode, I'm sure, with this fight. We'll have to see what happens, if they can make peace. And then meanwhile, the episode ends with Haruma catching Ansho conning elderly people, and basically tells Ansho, you got to get the fuck out of here. Get out of here, you charlatan. You're giving all of us a bad name. And and as they're being kicked out of the territory, Ansho's partner finds the keychain that the squirrel dropped. And I don't know. I mean, it's going to be powerful. Will it make them nice? Will it make them appear to be actually proper exorcists? I don't know. Will they have a change of heart? Will they get punished by some kind of god? I don't know. We'll find out in episode 10. This is a good one. I don't know. It's a weird thing to say. Like, it's like, oh, that was real good. It was real good. I don't know what to say there. Fun episode. I look forward to, like, I don't mind a little conflict. This show has been pretty fucking easygoing. So to have a little bit of conflict rear up is pretty cool. It's a good show. We've got time left on the stream to talk a little bit, folks. Let's chat. Let's chit chat a little bit and see what's going on. I want to hear from you. What kind of video games you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? What do you got going on? I love hearing from you folks about those things. So please let me know. I need light gray of these. If you've been playing any video games, watching any movies or TV shows, or reading anything, or listening to any music, what do you got going on? What are you up to? What are you into? I always love hearing from you about those things and thanks. So please feel free to let me know. Oh, I guess this is going to be our little LED screen here. I assume that's what that is. Oh no, sorry. This is the outside, like for the flip. This is like the little LED on the outside of the flip, and this is the screen on the inside of the. I get it now. Obviously, I watched wrestling yesterday. Talked about that. I did a lot of outdoor nonsense, a lot of trimming, using an electric hedger to clean up a lot of stuff, and then bagging things. I got a little bit of sunburn on my neck that is going to be annoying for a few days. But yeah, I got mildly sunburnt, which I don't recommend. If you can avoid the sunburn. Oh, I put these on wrong. Gotta go like this. I would highly recommend it. If don't be like me. I went for a little walk today. Today was annoying. I had a lot to do today, and I did get, I think, just about all of it done. Okay, yeah. So this does open and close. It is a flip phone, and we will do the other side of it. But this is a cool bit of tech. I like the flip phone. We'll see how much it opens and closes on there. Let's see. Yeah. I think that's probably it about what's going on with me. Was just like today I did a lot of data entry for my data entry job, if you can believe it. I did work for the job that I have. But I had a lot to do today, and then I have to review everything I did today, tomorrow, and then send that stuff off because a bunch of it is due on Wednesday, but I didn't get it until yesterday. So there's a lot going on. I don't have much to do. Oh, also, one of the reasons why I had to get a lot of it done is because tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to be hanging out with my dad in the afternoon into the evening. We're going to go to a bar that he likes to go hang out in, and we'll go kill some time there. And then we're going to go get some food. We have not decided where we're going for food, but we're going to get some food. That'll be fun. Because once, like every quarter, my mom hosts a meeting in the house. And so there are a lot of ladies on the committee that she's a part of. They have a meeting, and my dad steers clear of it. He does not want to be in the house. Me, I'll just be in my room, and it's not a fucking problem. But he wants to go, so we're going to go tomorrow and hang out and do some stuff. I don't know where. We got to figure out where we're going. But because of that, I got to wrap up the work I have to do tomorrow earlier than I would like, so that we can go do that, which is fine. It's all going to be fine. But I'm like, oh, okay, I got to get this stuff together. All right. So yeah, that's it really. That's my day tomorrow is going to be whatever. My stream tomorrow night will be fun. I'm looking forward to trying out this video game. I played it, but I haven't played it with people watching. So that'll be fun. Which is, of course, sledding game. Let me see if I can see sledding game. Steam. Is a very inexpensive game. I believe it is in early access right now. The old sledding game. Let's see here. It does have proximity chat, which I'll probably turn on at some point, but I won't start with. And you can just basically make your own server and then not invite anybody to that server if you don't want to like hang out with people, which I probably will do. It came out on the 30th of April, and it is let's see. You can buy it with like there's bundles. You can buy it if you want to do that. Yeah, I bought I bought it for $8, and it's in early access, and I think it's fine and fun. But there's some bundles with some other games, and there's also some DLC. There's a supporter pack, which I have not purchased, and the soundtrack. But like, a lot of people bought copies to this game, apparently, which is very silly. And again, it's early access. It seems weird. Sledding game. We'll talk about it. I'm hoping that they update the game and put in inverted controls, because I would like that. Right now, it does not seem to have that, and I wish it did, because it would help me out. But I gotta put more time into it. I'm gonna do more time with it tomorrow. Lorecast says, I've been enjoying more Twin Peaks: The Return. As Laura Dern mostly says fuck you to most people, and Matthew Lillard has a good ugly crying freak out scene with the FBI. Yes, that is a good scene. It's been a while, so maybe I didn't remember how often Laura Dern just tells people to fuck off, but yeah, I don't think I remember that as well as you're implying it happens as often as it does. I need a 1x2 flat and a 1x4 flat. Right, 1x2 flat. All I need is a 1x2 flat here. I need this piece, but there. Someone dig that. Lovely song at the end of one of these episodes from Rebecca Del Rio, who did the signature song from Mulholland Drive, and I found out that she passed away last year. Oh, I didn't know that. Didn't know she passed. I do at some point remember she was on the soundtrack. But yeah, that's a good show. I'm glad you're enjoying it. All right, flip phone is built and assembled, and that's it. Toss it over there. So you can see here we got our phone, and it flips open for our flip phone, and of course there's the keypad and our screen, and then we've got our other screen from our Nokia style phone. Moby plays guitar during her song. Oh, okay. This is a fun little flip phone. It's not as wobbly, which is good. And I like that it's got the little LED. That's a nice touch. Yeah, this is fun. This is well-built little thing. Look, if you were going to build this kit, or this Lego set, this is not the one that you would build and keep. You would do the rotary phone. You might do the cordless phone. You're probably not doing these, and I think that's okay. I think it's okay not to do these, but they're fun. So let me take a photo of them so that I can have them for prosperity, and then we'll talk a little bit about what the next build is. Okay. All right, so I got all these. I gotta put these away here. Here it is. Put some Lego into this box here. Just gonna use that as a way to get all this Lego somewhere, so you can hang out as I do that, and then we'll talk about the next thing I'm gonna be working on. Oops. You can hear the sound of Lego falling into a cardboard box. Because obviously that third build was the least, it used the least amount of Lego, so there's a lot of Lego pieces here. Because the rotary phone used the most Lego. This is all moving all over the place. Because there's always a primary build in the 3, and there's always this uses some pieces, and maybe there's even like one piece that's used just for that second one that wasn't used in the first one. And then the third build is always just like, oh, we could also do this. All right, so the thing I'll be working on next, which I don't think I'm going to start tonight, but I can get ready, I can do the prep work for, is we'll get rid of the rotary phone. This is the next kit. Lord Christ says I'll be playing 007 First Light tomorrow. I'm excited for IO's new game. I am not picking that up yet, and because I don't have time to play it, and now I'm also glad because it kind of looks boring. So I'm kind of glad that I'm going to wait on it. I have not heard the best about this game. So I'm still hoping it's great, but it doesn't sound it, unfortunately. This is the Gyan Strom. This is from Seed. This is Seed Freedom, the movie, the Seed Freedom movie. It's the Gyan, but it is a night-themed Gyan, and it has a cool shield with like beam whips around it. The self-propelled shield. It's got some cool weapons. It's got a whip. That's fun. Accessories on the shield. I'm happy with that. Beam weapons. You know I like a beam weapon, so I'm excited to build that. And as I mentioned, this thing does not use polycaps, except there's a couple. It uses minimal polycaps, which is exciting. I like that about modern kits, you know, starting with Witch from Mercury. This does, unfortunately, because this is not a traditional Gyan, because it is the Gyan Strom, it does have a ton of fucking stickers. Look at all these stickers to put on. This is so many stickers. The head has so many stickers. It's got stickers that bend around. It's like the first thing I'll do on Thursday stream is put these fucking stickers on. There is, oh yeah, it'll tell me how many polycaps we use. It looks like only 2 of these polycaps actually get used. Last says, I don't even know what I'm looking at. A lot of tiny stickers. It is a lot of stickers. Yeah, all these little red stickers here, like who knows how much of those I'll actually even really want to put on, but it's got a lot of them. Let's look at the image, because I didn't add the image to here, so I have to find the image, and we'll call that Gyan, and then we'll look at this. Man, I gotta say, they put out a lot of fucking kits for Seed Freedom, and I think they're all fucking awesome. Like, they're all great. The blue stickers look both fun and annoying. Yes. These stickers, the head stickers that are going to fold and bend over the head there, I'm not looking forward to. That's these stickers here. These stickers, yeah, I'm not looking forward to that over on the old head there. But it's got a cool shield. It's got wings. It's got a weird head. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm excited to work on this one. And we'll shove that right over there. Okay. Yeah, this is the next thing I'll be working on. It looks neat. I am excited to work on this one here. The colors are cool. There's a little bit of dark blue, but it's mostly a light blue, and even another light color, and plenty of red. There's some good gold here. This will use. I might end up using. You know what? I don't know. I think the gray won't look good on these, so I'm probably gonna end up using black on everything. No, that's not bad. You know what? Yeah, I'll use black on everything except for these pieces here, because I really like gray on a white or an off-white. So I'll do that. But anything that's not white or off-white, I'll use the darker color on. Yeah, that's way more striking than the gray. And I just gotta clean up. Yeah, that's better. I like that better. Yeah, we'll do the black on this. I think it'll be good. But this is going to be what I start on Thursday. pretty straightforward. Again, there'll be plenty of stickers to put on this thing because it's a lot of color correcting stickers, which is annoying, but also it makes sense. This is a kit that some of these components are new components, and some of these components are from, let's see if I can find it. Some of the year. Yeah, 2024 on this one. But let me look at like A and see what year this is. 2023. So yeah, so parts of this is just the regular Gyan, and then other parts are new, which makes sense. New printing of some of these parts. Yeah, so some of these parts are 2024. And so they got to do color correcting, and I get it. I don't love it, but I get it. Then we've got the waist. Building the waist after you build the arms. I love that. I don't know why so many kits go from we built the head and the chest and the arms. Let's build the legs next. Like, no, let me build the waist. So we got that, and then the legs. Apparently there is a mild undergating on some of this. So there is some undergating, which is okay. And then the left leg, and then the backpack, which has a bunch of stickers on it. That's where a lot of those blue stickers are going to be going. And then the weapons. The gun, which can also go on the skirt, which is nice to know. Then there's the beam saber that can go on the other side skirt, which is cool. Because I don't know for sure, but I'll probably have either the whip or the axe. And it will probably be the axe, because I do love a beam weapon. Yeah, these pieces are really nice. So I probably use that instead of the whip. Although the whip is fucking cool, don't get me wrong. The whip is very cool. Maybe I can have the whip in the hand of the shield, and I can be greedy and have like two weapons. Because they just have the shield like hanging out. They don't have the, you can put the shield like on the arm here instead of holding it. So maybe I can do that. Double weapon up. I don't know. This looks neat. I'm excited to work on it. It won my poll of what to work on next. It beat out some other kits that are cool. I do have a kit that is not from Seed Freedom, but is from Seed Destiny. It is a 1/100 scale non-grade, which look, they haven't done it since, but every few years in the 90s and the early 2000s, Bandai would try again to do a 1/100 scale, like the scale for master grades, but have them be like non-grades or high grades. They would just try that. And I think that's the last show. I think Destiny, Seed Destiny is the last time they tried it. Because it's not a good idea. So I think they finally gave up. We are going to wrap things up a little early tonight. My voice is kind of getting a little shoddy here. So we're gonna take this opportunity to just wrap up a little earlier than normal. My apologies. But we are going to go on a raid. Well, we end every stream with a raid. We're going to go find somebody doing cool stuff and go hang out with them on a Monday night. Tomorrow I'm going to be trying out Sledding Game, as I said, and I think that'll be a good time. And so I hope you will come and join me for that. That game seems fun and kind of easy, but we'll do a thing I don't normally do, which is interact with other people in a multiplayer game, which again is not my style. That's not my skis, but we'll still do it. Let's go see who's doing what on a Monday. Mary does not appear to be streaming tonight, which is okay. She doesn't have to stream if she wants to not stream on a Monday, she can choose to not stream on a Monday. I'm not her boss. But we often raid on Mondays. We often raid Mary Kish, which is okay. Instead, my friend Liz aka Liz Star, has been streaming for a while, and I imagine we'll stream longer. It's RPG night, playing The Last Story. So let's go hang out with Liz. Liz is cool people. We'll have a good time there. I hope you will enjoy me for this raid. She's out on business in Europe this week, says Lord Crush, and thank you for the update on Mary Kish. Thank you. Let's go hang out with Liz. And a reminder, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here, I'll be playing a game called Sledding Game. It seems silly in a way that I could really get behind. Is a multiplayer game where you are a little guy on a little circular sled, just having a good time and enjoying yourselves. And there's tricks. It seems very silly. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you come along on this raid. I hope you come back tomorrow for that. Thursday for a new model kit build. Talk to you all soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.